Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the Alpaka Vertex Pouch, which is really a 3-in-1 accessory. It's a pouch, it can work as a sling bag, and also a desk caddy. So I've been really excited and curious to try this out since it was announced, as it seemed like a great alternative to something like Evergoods' Civic Access Pouch 2-liter. I'm always on the lookout for items that are multi-purpose and that offer really interesting designs like this one seemed to have. So really excited to have a chance to get hands-on with it over the past couple of weeks. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar items that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the design language here definitely feels in line with Alpaka's style. So it's got a very sleek, modern, kind of techie vibe. As with many of their bags, it doesn't have the boxiest shape. It's a little bit more rounded or tapered, I guess. And so, I think that this works well for the style of, bag and accessory that this is. And so, very clean appearance. It's offered in a couple of different fabrics and colors. Alpaka sent over the varieties that they have. So there is an X-Pack version that is offered in black. There is an army green Axoflux fabric, and then there's a multi-cam option, which also seems to be using some type of X-Pack. Beyond that, they all have some really nice aqua-guarded YKK zippers, so it feels like they're going to offer plenty of durability and protection for the items that you're going to be carrying. And then continuing along the exterior, they are going to have a very nice carrying handle. This is actually pretty robust for this type of accessory, so it feels great for picking this up off the ground if you want to carry it this way, or for just pulling it out of your bag if you happen to be storing it in a larger bag. And then on the back, they all have the attachment points to pair with a shoulder strap that is included with the pouch. And this is a pretty interesting strap. I mean, this is a really well padded, and I like the length that's included here to give you a lot of flexibility with where it can rest on you if you're wearing it on your shoulder, crossbody. And then I like the fact that it's fully removable. You can adjust it from both sides. And then it also has a nice magnetic buckle. Feels very secure, easy to get it on and off. I know this style of buckle can be hit or miss for some people on sling bags, as it can be a little easier to open than some people might like, particularly if you're in transit somewhere and you want to make sure that that's really secure. But for me, for my use cases, I'm always a fan of these magnetic buckles, and so I think that the implementation here is great. Maybe some might think that it's a little bit overkill just because of the size of the pouch slash sling bag, but in general, I've really liked having this strap. I like that it's included for when I want to use this as a sling bag, and then that I can fully remove it if I don't want to use it. But even if you don't use the included one, these anchor points are going to work well with a lot of the other straps that Alpaka and other third-party companies sell if you want to pair it. And then if you don't want to use it, that works too. All of them have a D-ring at the center on the bottom, which you could use to clip on additional items if you like to use it for that. I don't tend to do that too much, but I'm guessing some people might want to clip on a water bottle or just something a little bit bigger that doesn't necessarily fit onto the inside. And then taking a look at the capacity, this comes in at about 3.5 liters, which feels a little large for me and the typical tech pouches and desk caddies that I use. But I think that because this is also meant to work as a sling, they did a good job of finding the balance of size that would kind of be able to handle all those use cases well. I know there are sling bags that come in at a smaller size, but I think that this adds to the versatility of this accessory and just giving you a little bit more capacity than what you would be able to handle, in your pockets or with a smaller sling or pouch, but not something that's so big that it feels awkward to use as a sling bag, or that you can't place into a backpack so that you can use this as a pouch. So this is able to hold a good amount even when it's packed out. It doesn't feel overwhelmingly big or bulky when you're wearing it as a sling bag. So, again, think that it works well. I did want to do a couple of size comparisons here with some of the other pouches that I talk about a lot on the channel. So the one that comes to mind first is, of course, the Evergoods Civic Access Pouch 2 liters. So 2 liters versus 3.5 liters, you can see that there is a pretty big difference in the size and the silhouette of the two. It's going to be taller, But you know, these two definitely remind me of each other just with the fact that they work well as larger tech pouches slash desk caddies. With the Civic Access pouch, you do have a couple of attachment points here at the top, so you could potentially convert it into a sling bag, but you know, it doesn't really feel like something that was meant to be used quite like that. But you know, you can do so if you want something that's not quite as big as this. And then I also have the recently updated cable kit from Air. This is the latest version, which felt a little bit larger than some of their previous editions, and you can see there, it's still not quite as large as the Vertex pouch, so, you know, but offering a lot of the same organization. This is probably similar to Alpaka's Element Tech case as far as kind of the silhouette and the style, but yeah, there you can get a sense of the difference. Peak Design is another company that has a very popular larger tech pouch. I haven't actually had a chance to use the large version. This is the small tech pouch that they released pretty recently, so you can see that that's quite a bit smaller than this one here. But you know, just to provide some additional comparisons, Civic Access 1 liter, and so you know, I think the volume doesn't lie. This was always meant to be something a little bit larger, and if you prefer to have just everything in one pouch, then that size is probably going to be something that ends up working pretty well. And then jumping into the organizational options, I have these two loaded out with a couple of different items. I haven't used the multicam edition of the Vertex pouch quite as much, as I'm just not crazy about multicam aesthetic in general. And then first thing to call out here with these is that they do stand up quite well on their own. Very important for something that is marketed as a desk caddy, so that you can place this down when you're sitting and be able to access all of the pockets very comfortably. And they have, you know, great quick access area here for anything smaller that you're reaching for, particularly if you're wearing this as a sling bag. You don't want to open it all the way up. Good amount of space here. We'll take a closer look at this compartment when we're on the inside of the bag, but you know, always a big fan of that. And then they both have the wide opening here that allows you to access all of the organizational options and space that is provided. And I think that this is a really cool idea. This is one of the pouches that I think is a great alternative to the Civic Access pouch, which, you know, up until now has been kind of the undisputed king of desk caddies, in my opinion, with this layout where you can open this up, just super stable how it lays flat. And so it's kind of a similar idea here. And the difference is that this one doesn't go quite as low in the same way that the Civic Access pouch does. This kind of supports and helps keep everything stable. This one is stable more in the base, and then there's a little magnetic flap that helps keep this open. So it actually secures it so that when you place it down, you're able to access everything as needed. It keeps it in place. And then, like the Civic Access pouch, you do have this zipper that provides access to the quick access pocket that we were just looking at. So that's a really great design touch, so that when you open this up, when you're sitting down, you don't have to like flip back and forth to be able to access stuff in this area. I like that this compartment has some volume as well, and this mesh material so that you can see what's on the inside. And so I just have a variety of smaller things in there, some wired headphones, a pair of AirPods. I also have multi-port cable that I like to carry with me. Don't think I have anything else in this one. Here, another pair of AirPods, wall adapter with 2 USB ports, and then a little memory stick that I have. So just tossed in some of the stuff that I found around my office, but you can see with the volume that's offered here, you have quite a bit of flexibility if you wanted to toss in maybe some sunglasses without a case. And then moving into the main segment, nice bit of organization provided here. I really like the layout. You know, with Alpaka, they have a lot of organizers that leverage an accordion style layout. So it's not, you know, as many dividers per se as something like the Elements case, and it still maintains a good level of flexibility, which is, I think, one of the best things with a larger pouch like this, is being able to flex to meet, you know, various different items, sizes, and types. So I have a bulkier item on the front. This is the remote for my drone, and I'm able to place that in there comfortably. You could also see maybe a point and shoot camera fitting in here, some sunglasses, a smaller umbrella. So there is this, you know, big section at the front, which is going to provide some flexibility. And the other one, I have a GoPro, as well as a larger retractable HDMI cable that I like to have when I'm traveling. And so, you know, really like just the open space there. Behind those, you have some nice elastic slip pockets that are going to be great for tech accessories. So here I have an Apple Magic Mouse. I have one of those in both of these actually. And then I have the nail clipper set that I typically like to have with me, as well as a hard drive will fit in there comfortably. You can also start to see how these layouts could work well as a DOP kit. I mean, this is probably pretty big for a DOP kit, but you know, that's what I like about pouches like these, is lots of different use cases. And then you have this cool magnetic section in the middle that doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, but it's going to be a good spot for something like pens or styluses, dongles, anything that's a little bit kind of longer fits in there. And this one I just have a cable that I tossed in, and I like how secure that magnet manages to get. And then you have another larger section here behind that. In this one here on the right, I have my USB-C hub along with the charging cable, a USB-C cable for my laptop. So that's able to handle all of that very easily. Inside of this section, there is also a zippered pocket that has some internal slip pockets, smaller ones. So here I have a USB-C dongle for my laptop. And then this might also be a good spot to store an AirTag, memory cards. I actually have an AirTag in here at the moment. But you know, if you don't want to use those, you can just kind of zip that up. And then on the other one, in this section, I just have a notebook, deck of playing cards, because I was running out of accessories to toss in to all of these different pockets that are provided. And then same sort of thing here with the zippered pocket. Difference here with the X-Pack and the Axoflux versions is the internal color. You have the bright orange liner with the X-Pack, so you know, some people like it, some people aren't as crazy about it, so just something to keep in mind. And then one of the cool things about this section here is that the divider is not fixed to the bottom of the ground, and you can see that there's also these sort of gussets here that expand and compress depending on what you want to hold. So that flexibility is really going to make this just adaptable to a variety of carrying needs. This is meant to hold Apple AirPods Max headphones. I was able to fit them. It was a little tight, just given how tall they are, but it was able to close. So that was great to see. And then if you use a different style of headphones, like I have Beats Studio headphones that I use a lot, I took them out of their case because that definitely won't fit in here. But you know, if you wanted to store them into here, there is still going to be the ability to do so because of that flexibility. So great to see that. This isn't quite long enough maybe for some larger water bottles, but this is the 20-ounce bottle that I use pretty regularly, and you can see that you can kind of squeeze it in here. So just giving more of a sense of the types of things that this can handle. And then on the back, you have a slightly padded sleeve that is going to be great for handling a variety of different device types. So in one of these, I have my Kindle. In the other one, I was able to place my iPad mini. Even with a case, it was able to fit in there comfortably. But without a case, it's still nice because this has fleece lining on both sides, so it'll help prevent against scratching. I know this is meant to work with a variety of Nintendo kind of handheld devices. I haven't used those quite as much. But you know, it's great that there is dedicated tech sections that are going to offer some protection even if you don't have a case. And in general, I really like the layout. There's lots of different options that you can choose to use or not use depending on what you're carrying on a particular day. So really just like the flexibility here, and that it doesn't force you to use the pockets in any particular way. It's just going to adapt to a lot of different situations. And then you can see that when the pouches are a little emptier, they still maintain their structure. They stand up well consistently, which is nice. So it's not like when you're removing items and the weight shifting, it starts to tip over. So everything is very well thought out, you know, really just great layout. And, you know, I think that this does a great job of pulling triple duty as a tech pouch, a desk caddy, a sling bag. As with any multi-purpose item and anything that's kind of a jack of all trades, it's not going to be perfect for any of those situations, but I think that it strikes a good balance of trying to serve all of those different needs. And, you know, if you're looking for a larger tech pouch or desk caddy and something that can be used as a sling bag, then I think that this is going to be a really interesting option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the Alpaka Vertex Pouch over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company site. It's going to come in at a little over $100, and the price will vary depending on the fabric that you pick. In general, it's definitely a bit of an investment for an accessory like this, but you are getting really solidly built bag with a unique feature set and layout, and it's also going to compare well against some of the other similar items in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, this definitely reminded me of some of the other great pouches in Alpaka's lineup. I've really enjoyed using the Elements Tech Case and the Tech Case Mini. Those have more of an accordion style layout. They're a little bit smaller than this one here. Like these, they do offer the ability to be used as a sling bag. There are attachment points, so kind of continuing that theme of being multi-purpose, and they have a great design, solid build quality. They're offered in multiple fabrics, and so if you're a fan of Alpaka's build quality, the aesthetic, and you want something that's a little smaller or just has a different layout, those will be some great options to take a look at. The next items these made me think of were some of the items in Bellroy's lineup. I'm a big fan of items like the Venture Sling. I've used the 6-liter for a while, and I absolutely love the look, the layout of that bag. It doesn't have a lot of organization, but it's very useful, got a pretty flexible structure. I like that you can fully remove the strap, so you can kind of turn it into a pouch if you want to. Bellroy also just has a lot of other great pouches in their lineup. The Tech Kit, they have the classic pouch, they have a desk caddy, and so those aren't convertible to be used as a sling in the same way that this is, but if you're just looking for something that's a little bit more compact that you can place into your backpack, those are going to be some great options to consider. But again, if you're looking for something closer to this that can be worn as a sling, that you can take the strap off, then the Venture Sling is going to be an interesting option to consider. And then the last options that I'll call out here are some of the accessories from Peak Design's lineup. They're another company that has a pretty wide variety of pouches and sling bags, and they seem to really want to ensure that their pouches and accessories can be used as sling bags. So they have removable straps that can be paired and moved around. I've featured their Tech Pouch Small a couple of times in recent videos on the channel. I believe that the larger Tech Pouch can also be converted to a sling bag, the accessory pouch. So, they seem to offer a similar level of flexibility for their products. And then the layouts of Peak Design's pouches are, just really well known. They have the accordion style layouts. They were some of the first to use that. Lots of different ways to organize your stuff. And then they have some simpler pouches that can also work well. Even their packing cubes that they've released recently seem to be able to be converted into a sling bag. So, just very versatile accessories, very sleek, modern aesthetic. And so if you're looking for those types of items, or you're just already in the Peak Design ecosystem, then those are going to be some really high quality, versatile items to consider. With that being said, the Vertex Pouch holds up really well against all those options and just offers an incredible amount of versatility. And so if you're looking for something durable that's going to offer a great organizational layout and that can pull triple duty as a pouch, sling bag, and a desk caddy, then that's going to be a really tough option to beat. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Vertex Pouch and how it compares to some of the other popular pouches and slings that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Alpaka for sending the pouches for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.